What is up, T.O.Gs? Lucky for us who live here in California, Northern California, and the further south you go, it's gonna be even nicer here in these winter months. Getting out here and still being able to ride, and basically being able to ride year-round, it's a blessing, if you want to call it that. It's something to feel very fortunate about as somebody who loves to ride. But that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what riding can do for you. Now, if you're somebody who does live in a climate in the country, in the world, that doesn't allow you to ride all around the calendar, all around the year-round. English is my first language. If you can't ride year-round, then you know, when you can't ride, it's a bummer. You know, a little bit of depression might hit you. You know, that cabin fever. I've never lived in a climate where we couldn't go out at all in the winter, and I know in a lot of places in the country and around the world, you're stuck inside. But we're not going to talk about what we can't do. What we're going to talk about today is what we can do, which is ride. And like I said, I'm fortunate to ride all year round, but I'm going to talk about today what riding can do for you. And I know what it does for me, potentially what it can do for you. And before I get started, I'm going to reach out to you guys. What is it that riding does for you? It's simple. That's all I'll say. What does riding do for you? Leave it in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. Now, of course, riding can open you up to a whole community of different people, new friends, new groups. You know, if you're new to riding and it's something that you've wanted to get into, you might find yourself in an entirely different environment, and that could be great. But for me, who rides solo more often, it's this wonderful, beautiful solitude of just getting out on your bike, being out here on your own, taking in the open road, taking in the scenery, the environment, and just enjoying being out here by yourself. It's amazing. If I'm not talking to the camera, I'm just riding it and enjoying what I'm seeing. Sometimes I'll throw on some tunes and go about it that way. But either way, I'm out here, I'm all by myself, and just loving every minute. Now, if you're new to riding, you're finding out that some of the roads that you rode or ridden all the time or driven all the time take on new life. There's things that you notice that you didn't notice before. There's landmarks that you see that you didn't know were even there. Just a day out on the road, you don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have GPS. You can just get out and explore. And again, like I said, you might be exploring something that's totally familiar to you, that you've driven a million times, but there's something about when you get out here on your bike that makes things new. And that, to me, it's really special about riding. Now, if adventure riding is your thing, that's going to even open up your world even more. Places that you wanted to go exploring where you couldn't take your car, or maybe you couldn't even take your bicycle because it would be too hard, too difficult. I know that some of the dirt bike roads out here are doable on a dirt bike or on an adventure bike, but not necessarily on a bicycle. So again, the adventures are out there, whether you're an adventure rider or not, to have, and it's just up to you to make the most out of it. One of the things, and this might not be for something that everybody's experienced, but when I was younger, we would just go out and ride bikes. Right? I had a bicycle. It was a little BMX bicycle. It was red and brown, and I just loved that thing. I rode that thing until it was just not rideable anymore. We would just go ride. And for me, riding my motorcycle, it's very nostalgic, right? It takes me back to that time where I just went outside, hopped on my bike, and just went. It didn't matter where I was going, if I was going to see anybody, if I had a destination in mind. it didn't matter. I was on my bike and it was fun. And riding my motorcycle, it's just a link to those just simpler times, funner times, no, to the times that were more carefree. And that nostalgia for me is a big deal about riding my bike. Now, if you're like me, I'm proud of a lot of things. I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of my accomplishments. But I'm proud of my bike. Now, I don't know if this is the same for all of you, but it's one of those things where, like, you park your bike, it doesn't matter where you are, but it's time to get off the bike, and you walk away, and you guys got to take that second, maybe third or fourth look as you walk away, because you're just damn proud of your machine. If you've made a lot of mods, I'm sure you have that pride and that feeling even more. But it's just one of those things. It may seem shallow, I guess, and it might seem vain, but you know, it's just another one of those things to take pride in. Growing up, my first car was a 1988 Ford Escort, and that thing was it got me from point A to point B. You know, as a kid, I'm sure some of you can relate to this. I put a nice stereo in there so I could listen to the music as loudly and as proudly as I wanted to. But I was proud of my car. You know, I would wash that thing all the time. I would clean it, make sure that if I was going to take somebody out, a friend or a girl, that it was going to be a good experience for them. And again, this comes back to nostalgia. When you have something that you take pride in, it's just another one of those things that make you feel good, right? It gets endorphins might be the wrong word, but there's a feeling on a chemical level that having a bike, owning a bike, riding a motorcycle will change. Will really open you up to something that maybe you've never experienced before. And that's really cool. I like talking to people who just learned to ride or just got their first bike, and the amount of pride and the amount of like just sheer enjoyment and just knowing that they're riders now and that they own their own motorcycle. It's awesome. It really is. And it takes me back to when I first started riding too. And it's a special thing. Riding is a special thing. Motorcycles are a special thing. If you agree with me, make sure you hit like button down there. And that's all I got for you today. I'm sure a lot of you will have something to say about this, so make sure you leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you're out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I am that one guy, and I am out.